People get up in the building. Do. Man, did that building pile up a little bit? Gotta get stronger, bro.
I know. I'm trying to be able to use it paint.
Huh?
Trying to be able to sharpen some inside more.
They gonna fag you. Just learn how to shoot. Make sure you free throws it right. You foul this shit out, you trust me. See, when you put the refs in there, all that. That's why it's called basketball, yo. But you gotta be going hard though. Can't do the in between, yo. Yeah. Yeah. It's at 5:30 this morning, boy.
Huh?
It's at 5:30 this morning.
No.
It's early. She doing it back. She doing that, boy. Get in that, boy. Yo, Onyx. Flat Earther. Kyrie Irving. Nah, I'm messing with you. No, you ain't going that route. People pile up in the building, man. They're showing the road, man. Y'all. Absolutely. Y'all know what it is. 30, they ain't enough to get it rocking, man. I'm seeing you. What's going on, Mika? I see you. What it do? What it do? Omar Reed. What it do? James Midas. Yeah, I see you. We're gonna let everybody come in. I see you. Sonic. Boy. Yeah, man, let the room get a little full. Little full there. Let everybody get piled up in the seats, man. Looking for. Find some highlights, man, to start the show off with. People coming in, man. That thing that broke wide open, man. It's trending right now. Hebrews are getting them views. Hey, the back signaling went up. So y'all already know what it is, man. Get into this whole groove, man. Got people speaking on the issue, don't even know what the hell they talking about. That's first of all, yo. So we, you know, yeah, that real black atheism was designed to definitely bring proper context in all situations. That's real right there. Yeah, that's real right there, man. Get the book, man. Second edition, Evolution, what the fossils say and why it matters. Donald Pethero. Yeah, so go ahead, get it, the numbers getting there a little bit, man. And it's amazing how people is actually getting in trouble over a Hebrew creation story, because that's exactly what it is. It's a Hebrew creation story. It is. It really is. So, yeah. See where we at in the building, man. We at 40, 45, 45, almost there. We getting there. We getting there. Okay, we getting there. All right, getting there. Yeah. Definitely getting there. Richard Dawkins' books do furnish a life. Reading and writing science. Yep. Yep. Got to be dedicated to the world you live in and dedicated to the tools, how religion evolved and why it endures. Robin Dunbar. So we gotta get the African American crowd interested in reading books, period. No matter whether the author is white, black, purple, or green, Chinese, Japanese, diversify your reading list. If you're reading pseudo work, yo, you're in trouble. And I definitely got some pseudo works. Absolutely. Yeah, right here. Religion on the Brain, page 123. Whatever religion might be, it is obviously something that happens in your mind, and hence is something that happens in the brain. Yeah. So it's a wild conversation going on in these YouTube streets amongst the African American crowd, who we are, and we've been putting that, we've been put all at the rest. So we get into it. And it's not a real hard thing. It's just about what type of material are you reading? And I would say, if you thought yourself to be a Hebrew, the first thing you would actually do is, you would read the daggone Bible, and you would read the Bible with a map. We've been saying this for years now. Like, don't not know geography, do not know who, what, when, where, and why, right? People, places, and things. Know that. Know your times. Know all that. That's important. That's definitely important. Yeah, and so we continue to push forward as the topics get very popular in African American culture now, and it's now it's spreading like a virus. But we got a plan, and we always do. That door cracked wide open now for that woke crowd, that conscious community type material, right? We stood at the forefront. We're beating up the pseudos. Now it's mainstream. Now the shit done gone mainstream and we on their heels and we right there. It's mainstream now. You know, rappers tweeting out the stuff. Basketball players, black people are figuring they know who they are. And that's what it is. And so we get that. Yeah, we get that. Yeah. Once you open up that door though, you know, everything get to come through though. And we coming through with it. You know, it's like a vacuum, it suck you. When that door open, that wind suck you through. So when they open up that door to conscious community, now they're gonna open up the counter to it, and y'all know we represent the counter. And that's just important. We absolutely represent the counter there. We represent the counter. Absolutely. Make believe. Where we at? Come on, man. Let me start sharing the show a little bit, man. Get these numbers at 60. We ain't starting until we get to 70. Well, I see y'all in the building. Y'all coming in there, man. Pure Black, what's up, man? What's good? Hebrew delusion. Ah, man. Let me say it again. Say it again. Yeah, so you know and just imagine this, man. We've been putting in enough of that work now where we got, imagine, yo, if y'all been actually following the information now that y'all just, y'all not gonna get tricked. You're not gonna be part of that crowd to get tricked. And that's important, man. And so look where we at here. We're in a position now not to get tricked. All right. And that's a good thing, man. We can actually scrutinize material. We can actually scrutinize where we at, how we got there. And that's a good thing. And so, like I said, the brothers with money seem to be going through it in real time. And you know, the more money you got, the more arrogant you're gonna be. So they arrogant what they think because they got their bread. They definitely got their bread, man. So that's, yeah. So man, come on in the building. We post some links on Facebook. The moderators, man, post up them links, man. Come on now. Post some links up. Let's go. Let's get it. Let's get it. Shout out to Smash Rockwells, man. Went viral. Went viral. Let me see. $63. We creeping. Well, I see you, Cedric, man. What's good? What it do? What it do? What it do, man? Craig Amin Raw. Joe Armstrong, what's good? What it do? 42 The Late Show, what's good, man? Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna dig right in. Get it going. Start with one of my favorite songs, man, while we get into it, man. It's my favorite song, bro. Let's get into this. Definitely my favorite song. All right. Get this thing going, man. Get that static going. Hey, Black African Power. What's good? What's happening? A well-organized lie defeats a disorganized truth every time.
Ooh, wait, man, y'all already know what it is, man. It's God Killer in the house, man. And look, man, we got a powerful show today. And look, man, let's just get it cracking, man. I'm the Rock Squad up, Magi Archers in the building.
Let's try that again, man. Let's get this cracking right, man. It's definitely my favorite song. Let's get this going.
What's good? What's happening? A well-organized lie defeats a disorganized truth every time. Ooh, wait, man, y'all already know what it is, man. It's God Killer in the house, man. And look, man, we got a powerful show today. And look, man, let's just get it cracking, man. I'm the Rock Squad up, Magi Archers in the building. Oh, shit. If you ain't signed that, no time for that interview, dog. I put my shit out for niggas, I don't send it to blogs. Plan kill off the Buddha, not being discreet. One bump this big pops and projectile swings. Sun runs, whole game, bring your cleats. The best blow, Eskimo, penguin feet. Don't need no blunt to burn. You run the turn for 10 niggas on the block. That's a punt return. Hey yo, Dolomite, prototype soldier with the solar light. Saber and he hold it like he hold a mic. Golden ice pendants. Sipping on that overpriced poltergeist spirits. Ripping at the open mic, spoken nice lyrics like Mama moved mean overnight, golden motorbike holding on some prime shit. That nice neon kid is on it. The king's libation with exotic liqueur. The queen's vibration like a Sada Shakur. A lot of the poor, 44 friends, they ain't got it in store. Nubian Kush, black top pottery door, 39% THC, the quality pure. Old rappers try to spit ain't hot as before. It's like I'm fine, like the bull, bust the shots of the floor. Gas switch up their style when they ain't got it no more. Cause they gotta keep their product in store. See what that weed did? Yes, man, agreeing on everything we said. I swallow the mic like it's the love of my life. Don't get sliced in beef with the butt of the knife. Brother polite, I say I'm animalistic, cause I still be in the hood with my hand on my wrist. The Hebrews think I'm cannibalistic, E5 divination, channel the mystic, audio visionary. Let's play poetical dictionary. Picture me burning down your missionary. Yeah, then I send you religion. That red dot on your head, that's Hindu tradition. Invisible, independent, and transition. I'll bring it all to an end with indivisible gains. Charles Xavier, getting your brain. Mental anguish, or manifesting physical pain. Wizard remains to dance in the chemical rain. Breathe slow, then I'm up out of this physical plane. Got military machinery that exercise, weaponized greenery. Shine at it, jeopardize the scenery, son. Bruh, the beam 10 times your distance. Inclines prevention. Stop rising with no trend line resistance. The parabolic breakout. I'm F-16 with the aeronautics fake out. God killer. God killer. God killer. God killer. God killer. God killer. That's what it is. God killer. God killer. God killer. God killer. God killer. God killer. God
Man, that song fire right there, man. Shout out to Smash Rockwells, man. Man, he should be passing through today, man. He got a big shout out, man. He got a real big shout out today, man. Yeah, he got a real big shout out all day, every day, man. So we, we like to, how they say, yo, we want to give them their damn flowers now. All right, not wait till later, man. Y'all know Eminem, went into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And he shot him out. Casual. Rap God. Right? So that's big respects, man. A lot of us don't get that. All right? Don't get that. Hall of Famer, shouting out my man. That's real right there. At least for me. And I appreciate you, the hard work in the community, man. And that community work that people don't know about, man. I've been to your building in Oakland, man, and you always did it big, man. So we appreciate that building right there in the hood. And yeah, tight spot, man. Hopefully I can come down there and do a lecture again. So I appreciate that, man. So yeah, man, we in here, man, and this thing is sweeping and it's trending. This whole Hebrew piece, the mockery. That's what we call it. We call it the foolery. And it's interesting because the tools that we've been laying down for years are squarely in play these days. They're in play. I just got to say it, baby. They're in play. And so we ready. All right, we there. And we're not going for the foolery, right? We're not doing none of that because we got these tools. And I always tell the brothers, the youngers ask me, man, so, what are we? I say, man, you just go through the catalog, go to the Amaral Squad Media, check the pseudo killers out and just go through the flow, man, and see. But let me bless you with this work right here. Get the download, listen to it, Audible, and yeah. And so, yeah, I suggest, right, as you on your move forward, go with the flow, right? Read the biblical text. That's what we're going to do. We're going to jump right on that, right? We're going to go into some populations and kind of understand a little bit who we are. All right, that's real. And I like to always tell the youngins, you know what I'm saying, that, man, y'all predate the God in the Bible. They be like, who? I said, yeah, that's not to around that literature they produced is around what, 600 BCE, maybe? Pieces of it. Yeah, I said, you go back at least 350,000 years in Africa. So your thing predate that. And so if your thing predate that, then you got to understand what is that. And so we the family's been raised up in North America under Christianity, and then we felt like we got a little cute and slick, and we played the whole Hebrew card. And we got super slick and played the Islam card. So slick was, playing the Islam, super slick was playing the Hebrew card. And now it's mainstream, right? So it's mainstream now, and it's there, and it's trending, and it's getting people in trouble. And so there's some questions. Well, how can this person be this and how can this person be that? Well, we're just going to get into the text. The text will always get you there. Let me see. And so what I want to do is I want to start us off. Now I ain't going to Bill Nye. I don't need the anthropology book right now. I want to go to the Weird Earth. This is what we're going to use to beat up all the flat earthers. Weird Earth, debunking strange ideas about our planet. But good work. They're not, your family members that are flat earthers aren't getting past this. They're just not. Yeah, I hate to say it, they're not getting past this, man. Not at all. All the answers, they get them right here. And I heard my man Anthony did a great presentation in the Discord on how to disprove the flat earth. So we're going to come to page 3. All right. A lot of these forwards be real powerful. What is science? And so we'll use science to tell where we're from, who we are. That's important. Science is the tool to be used on finding where you're from, ladies and gentlemen. So that's the tools we use, okay? Within the field of anthropology is archaeology, genes, genetics, the whole 9 yards. Right there, all right? Using works like this, right? And I tell you, this is $5. You get the up-to-date version, maybe about $80, $90. But come on, man, this up right here put you all the way in the game. Start with the good. This is a textbook, man. Appreciating anthropology, appreciating human diversity. Like right on the look, appreciating human diversity right off the top. You know, I always talk about how right off the top, Homo sapiens is the mix. And if you're not mixed, then you're not even on Earth. And I know that's strange, right? Strange to hear me say that, but that's real. Remember, science is counterintuitive. So if a person is telling you, man, that common sense science is not common, nor is it common sense. Because common sense would tell you if a person had peppercorn hair and dark skin, then obviously they from Africa. That's common sense. But that's not what science says. Not at all. Science doesn't allow for that. Race has been discredited and proven to be pseudoscience. So that good old fashioned looking at a person, knowing who they are, that game is dead. The lookership, that's not what it is. So we good, okay? And so what is science? Science is essential to our daily lives, but very few people actually understand what it is or how it works. And even when you have people around you and you thinking they know science, a lot of times they don't. They be faking that they know science. Because soon as science get on something that they covet, they fall apart. And I find this to be very interesting. But I come before you to make the point, science is undefeated. All science is about testing hypotheses and finding out their validity by further observations and experiments. Scientists generally aren't trying to prove their hypothesis, see? Right off the top, you're like, yeah, they're trying to prove that hypothesis. No, it's not. Generally, they're not. And experiments. Scientists generally aren't trying to prove their hypothesis, but to disprove them. See that? Scientists generally aren't trying to prove their hypothesis, but to disprove them. As British philosopher Karl Popper pointed out many years ago, it's far easier to prove a hypothesis wrong, falsify it, than it is to prove it right, verify it. This idea surprises a lot of people, but it is true. Strictly speaking, science is about proving ideas wrong and moving on, not proving them right. Scientists are not looking for the final truth or proving something absolutely true. Scientific explanations must always be open to further scrutiny and testing. They are tentative and must be capable of being rejected. Science is counterintuitive. Thus, science is very different from what most people think it is. When scientists speak to each other, they are not after the truth. They are careful not to use the words true or fact, and strictly speaking, we don't prove things true. Instead, scientists are trying to test and falsify, and test again until the idea is well corroborated, not proven true. Science is counterintuitive, and most of you right now are saying, what in the hell is he talking about? I'm talking about science. Science is not common sense. It's not common. The common person doesn't take enough time to understand what science is. Science moves all around you. Science seems to be its own worst enemy, because at times it works so well that you don't even know it. You use your GPS system, going back and forth to work, and then you'll deny vaccines. And you'll call the earth flat. Well, how could that be? The general law of relativity clearly helps you triangulate the GPS systems. Without that mathematical equation, they don't get that. Absolutely, positively. Technology pushes science and science pushes technology. There are a lot of things that are working for you right now. And you'll have people sprouting out pseudoisms about science while they own the technology that science has provided. Crazy. People deny evolution all the time and get sick and take their ass to a hospital that is formulated through evolution. And so we use the tool of science so we can figure out, what they talking about the Hebrew thing. So the first thing we do is let's see what they say for their own self. It's right in front of your face. I can't, I don't. Let me tap this right here. I mean, I just find it to be very, very interesting, man. I just don't know, man. Yeah, people just gotta take their time sometime, man. You go right to the biblical text, man. You can figure out right there who you are. Right there. Yo, what you mean? Yeah, I'm gonna show you. Most people, Black people, understand that they come from Africa. They'll do that. They might not like the words. They might not like to say it. They might ignore it. But they know the ancestors came from Africa. And that's real. So I'll find this website for you real quick. I'm making a point here. Man, how y'all feel in the chat, man? Big up to all the supporters, man. I appreciate that. Wouldn't be no reason to be here if the people wasn't here. I ain't gonna sit around talking to 10 people. I'm not doing it. Probably figure out something better to do for myself. I wonder, is it called bigmyth.com? Hold on. I think that might be it. 1 second. Because I want to get there. Hey, man, make sure y'all check out, bigmyth.com. Make sure y'all check out yesterday's show, man. It was great. Yes, it was. It sure was. It definitely was. Smash Rockwells.
What up with it?
What up, man? You know, I just shouted you out, man. To them people, man. Yeah, boy, yeah, man, you know, everybody, they had their ups and downs about Eminem, but they can't deny how serious that dude was rapping. And they sure as hell can't deny that you influenced him. Because he said it.
Oh, well, that you know, that's another hallmark in a long career for me, man. I mean, that's like a big trophy to have somebody of his stature say that. You don't trip off nobody who hate. Everybody got their own opinions, but they know that boy could spit and rap, and that's what he been all about. So that was hella cool to hear, man. That's crazy.
Crazy, was it crazy? I was like, oh man, I felt like he was talking about me. You know how you something have everybody hype. I was like, oh. I was rapping some shit. That's crazy. Yeah, just glad for you though, bro. Because I remember a couple of years ago, yo, you was talking about, Rap God. You like, yeah, yo, he used that. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what?
Go ahead.
I was saying earlier, when I said that, I hope it didn't run through your mind like, man, my man Cash going a little crazy, like he trying to say Eminem. You feel me? Because people might throw you under the bus if you get to saying somebody really bigger than you took your swag or whatever. I ain't really gonna say that now. He didn't take it. He just did what he had to do and threw me an alley-oop, and it was what it was. Respect.
Yeah, but yeah, and like I said, man, I got most of your work, man. So I already know you as the rap god. That one, I like to call you Smash Rockwells. That's my favorite name. We pick, the names that we like. I like the Smash Rockwells the best, but yeah, shout out to Casual though, man. All right, and you earned it, man, and you're a loyal friend, bro. And I just like to say that live to everybody, no matter what we go through, ups and downs, bends in the road, man, we stay the course for educating our people. So now I recall us being in the Natural History Museum, and you was talking about certain deities that would later on become in the pantheon and the deities dealing with the Hebrew thing. So as a matter of fact, I know you got some blogs on that, and we know who we are, and we understand ourselves not to be the Hebrews, the Semites, and I know you talk about that, and we build on that, and yeah, make sure y'all go ahead to the Rap God, the blog. That's a good one. He has articles on said subject. So if y'all tuning in, and I know y'all tuning in around the world, man, make sure you go to that blog, man. What say you about the Hebrew thing, man?
Man, come on, man. I gotta turn on my camera and I can't. My phone busted. I'm laying in the bed. But I be wanting to look at the people and tell them how crazy we gonna go. So we just picking characters, right? And we willing to fight and we willing to sacrifice and lose all of our economic livelihood because we want to pick biblical characters, right? We want to move all around. I mean, if God ever made some people when he chose some people, it was us. What about I mean, this is just crazy. I understand theology. I'm talking with the real black atheists right now, so they just gonna have to feel me. If we let all that book go, then all of that story, all of the whole fight, a brother Kyrie Irving would not be willing to sacrifice multi-million dollars over a fairy tale, bruh. You feel me? And so I think we got some theological stance in the fight in the matter, but when all actuality, it only come down to a Hebrew story where one God wasn't even the God of the whole earth, wasn't even the God of all the people. He was the God of Israel. So now we trying to say we Israel, man. Let that go.
Gotta let that go, man. And if you're not from Ethiopia, that particular population, that northeast population, they migrate, very migratory back and forth. And as a matter of fact, I find it funny that they actually, made them official in coming to Israel. So, they checked them off as being, part of their thing, part of their mythology. So the Ethiopian people, they African. Right? If you want to use the social construct, you would say they was black people, right? People of color. You would absolutely say that about them. And they don't have no problem with that. Well, they mistreat them. That's a whole different statement. We're talking about mythology. So what I like to do is give everybody a tool, right? Because a lot of times, man, we're not recognizing that this is actually mythology. So this is a good website we like to use right here. Simple, to the point here. This website is called Big Myth. Okay, and we pick the English on it, and you just go pick what you want. Let's hit the voodoo. Okay, you got voodoo, you got Dogon, Yoruba, Zulu, Babylonian, Sumerian, Greek, Egyptian, Celtic, Esuit, all right, Aztecs, Mayans, Hawaiian. All these are myths, right? And so what's the value to the myth? The myth actually has value to the culture, okay? And so the Hebrew myth, you'll find that over here in this area, the Sumerian, Babylonian area. You'll find the biblical myth, all right? Let's just click the voodoo real quick. Video, you can watch the video on it, give you a basic understanding of it, right? The culture, the pantheon. Let's see what the pantheon is. Load up this PDF. All right, so you got the pantheon right here. All right, different deities. Okay, read about it. Just basic. But it's mythology, man. And you can't be running around telling people what their mythology is and what their mythology isn't. Give you the location, all this. Nice little simple reads, man, to get a basic understanding that you're literally about to lose money over a myth. We'd be way smarter than that, man. Right? Howling, screaming in the streets over a myth. It's mythology. You can't run and tell the people how to run their mythology. Makes no sense. How you gonna tell the people that made up the myth that they ain't in the myth? That wouldn't make no sense now, would it? Horrible. Horrible. So anyway, that's big myth. Big myth. All right, website is called bigmyth.com. All right, and all the myths around the world, Japanese, right? Go read some of those creation stories. Look at the video, all that. You'll find a running theme in that. All right, so we will always give you tools to understand exactly what I'm saying. All right, I'm gonna always do that for you, but make it simple. I mean, that's how I got it, right? Using these tools that's in front of me. So that's important. So there y'all go, ladies and gentlemen, big myth. And so let's come to the myth that the African Americans have been entrenched in thoroughly. And we're gonna work this thing out real quick. All right, we'll come to the Blue Letter Bible. Smash, you want to say something? But I know you just was sit. I know you want.
I just was chilling. You got it. My daughters just walked in. I just was greeting them. That's all.
So the Blue Letter Bible, right? And so you got some choices here, ladies and gentlemen. If you're following the myth, and most of y'all have been entrenched in the myth, who are your people? Would you be Shem? Would you be Ham? Would you be Japheth? Now, Kyrie and them is hound out, they Shem, right? Let's see. Talking about the Semitic tribes, Western Asian tribes, these non-African tribes, right? And they'll try to play the game. Well, it's over here near the Shoutouts now. Stop it. Knock all that off. We're not playing that game. So yes, Shem, right? Strong's number H8034, okay, is the elder son of Noah, progenitor of the Semitic tribes. You know, the Shashu Bedouin, Amorites, all those tribes in Western Asia, they will be considered Shemites. All right. And open it up. Let me see if I can open this up a little bit here. All right. Root designation, like to roll down in here. And Shem, the elder, son of Noah, of whom, and to give you the scriptures, Semitic nations, Western nations in Asia, Persians, Assyrians, Amorians, and parts of the Arabs have sprung. All right, that ain't sounding like none of y'all. It's just not. Okay, we know based off of the records that they have in the slave trade where you come from. They got a pretty good area, West and Central Africa. Pretty good idea. Okay, those particular African indigenous populations, man, we know what region they inhabited, and it would not encompass the biblical story. So much so that you'll find people trying to make Hebrewisms of West Africa and play this whole tricky game with you. Shout out to Garfield, man. He's done a lot of work on that. Right? They'll play this whole game. They got to do way too much. When you trying to do way too much to prove you somebody, you're doing way too much. Yeah, way. You don't have to do all that. Okay. All right. So we got a little comfortability here. Let's see. Here we got the little chart there. Read the Wikipedia page on Shem. All right. All right. The children, Elam, Ashur, Aram, Noah, the father. All right. All these are children, right? That's the parent, right? Keep an eye on this. Real easy. We doing this real quick and getting them out the game. Getting them out the game. This ain't even hard. So everybody, African Americans is tuning in, go to your biblical text, go to the Bible and type in Shem, right? And you'll get to these places. Let's see who Jeff it is real fast. Let me see if it fits you. All right. We're just trying to see if it fits you. Just some basic, can it fit you? Does it fit you? Japhet, the third son of Noah, whose descendants after the flood settled on the coastal lands of the Mediterranean, spreading north into Europe and parts of Asia. That wouldn't be you, would it? Nah, not at all. Okay? So we know we ain't Japhet, not unless you think you're part of the Greeks. Right? And I don't think none of y'all thinking that. I don't think y'all thinking that. Okay, so we got that out of there. All right, we're not in the Mediterranean. Some people think we Mediterranean, but you know how that go. Misinformation is a trip. Mediterranean, spreading north into Europe. So nope, we're not that. So we starting to ask ourselves, yo, why do they want to be Shem? I'm gonna tell you why they want to be Shemites, right? Because we know they want to be chosen by God. But the only God that's choosing them is the biblical God. I just showed you myths around the world. They ain't choosing black people. Okay? So you got to implement yourself, put yourself in the system, and act like you was chosen by God. The only reason Shem is chosen by God because they wrote it to be that way. Because it's part of their mythology, folklore, and cultural expression. But is that you? Okay. We're going to see. Rolling right along. It's the fun part. Let's get to Ham. Now, we all know who Ham is. We're going to get into Ham. Ham, let's see. Ham, proper masculine, second son of Noah, father of Canaan, and various peoples which inhabitants the southern lands. Oh, southern lands where? Wait, late use, collective name for the Egyptians. Ham, collective name for the Egyptians. Interesting. Now that's interesting right there. Very interesting. Okay, let's move right here real quick. Ham. Okay, Ham, Hebrew, according to the table of nations, book of Genesis, was the second son of Noah and the father of Cush. We know the Cush. Cush, look, Cush, according to the Hebrew Bible, was the oldest son of Ham and the grandson of Noah. He was the brother of Mizraim, Punt, the Puntites, you know what it is? The Canaanites, and Cush was the father of Nimrod, king called the first historic warrior on earth. But y'all don't want to be Ham though, huh? Interesting. Let's see, once again, let's see who the brothers of Ham are. Cush, Mizraim, Punt. Yeah, that's all in Africa, right? Yep. So right now we can pretty much understand that just on a basic level that we know we come from Africa, not from Asia, not from the daggone Mediterranean. So right now we feeling a little wobbly there. We're saying, man, okay, where you at? Yeah, Africa. So Ham descendants, right, according to the biblical text, went into Africa after the flood. Okay? Went to Africa. So if we come here, it gets very interesting. Now, these are the scriptures y'all can look at. Genesis. Look at Genesis 9, 20, 27. Chapter 9, verses 20, 27. Now, and Noah began to be a husband and planted a vineyard, right? And this is after the flood, okay? First thing Noah do is, when he get off the ark, been on there 40 days and 40 nights, man, first thing he do, he seen the power of God. God destroyed the world, and the first thing Noah want to do is plant a damn vineyard. Why is he planting a vineyard? Let's see. Planted a vineyard and drank of the wine and was drunk. That's wild. Noah get drunk. That's the first thing you do is plant a vineyard, and the damn vines must have grew very fast because before you know it, he's drunk. Now this is going to tell you why you don't want to be Ham right here. Let's see what Ham did. Noah is drunk. God Almighty destroyed the whole world. He can't think of nothing else but to get drunk. Boy, I tell you. And drank of the wine and was drunken, and he was uncovered with his tent. And Ham, write this, and Ham, the father of Canaan, saw his nakedness of his father and told his two brethren. That's all Ham did. See, Ham must have been used to his father getting drunk. Because he just looked at him, oh man, he's just drunk. And he walked by him. He looked at him and walked by him. See, when your kids used to being drunk and crazy behavior, they just look at you. Oh, you doing the same thing again. Ain't a big deal to you. So obviously this wasn't a big deal. And obviously Noah was always drinking, obviously, because he has no fear of God. After God destroyed the whole world, first thing he want to do is drink. Man, and only thing Ham did was, look at him. Here you go again. And Ham, the father of Canaan, saw the nakedness of his father. So we know Noah was pissy drunk, because when you pissy drunk, you tend to take off all your clothes. So he pissy drunk. Ham probably taught of that. Looked at him and just say, man, go get your father. So let's see. And told his brethren without. And Shem and Japheth took the garment and laid it upon both their shoulders and went backwards. So they walking in backwards. Maybe they was drinking too. They walking backwards. They don't want to see their father naked. Crazy to me, but yeah, okay. Backwards, and covered his nakedness of their father. So the only thing Ham did was looked at his father drunk, because probably Ham was the fearful man of God. Like, I can't believe this man. He naked and he drunk. Let me go get my brothers, because I'm tired of it. His brothers coming in walking backwards. They probably was drinking too, because ain't nobody just walking backwards, but they walking backwards, and they put some covering over. Now let's see. Interesting story, but y'all want to be Hebrews. Ha! So Shem would end up being the Hebrews and Semitic people, and Japheth would be the Mediterranean, in which you end up being the Europeans, and Ham would be the Africans. But let's finish. Let's see. And Shem and Japheth took the garment and laid it upon both their shoulders and went backwards and covered the nakedness of their father. And their faces were backward, because they didn't look at him. I don't believe them. And they saw not their father's nakedness. And Noah awoke from his wine, from his drunkenness, and knew what his youngest son had done unto him. What did he do? He looked at him. How he know what Ham did? Right. See how they starting to make it up? Watch this. He said out of his mouth, probably still lingering effects of alcohol, curse be to Canaan. So he don't even curse Ham. He cursed Ham's grandson. It says, curse. Let's see what it, watch this. This is funny right here. I see why don't nobody want to be Ham. Watch this. Curse be to Canaan. A servant of servants shall be unto his brethren, or a slave of slaves. They translate the word depending on what version you got. Slave of slaves. Man, that's why you don't want to be Ham. You want to be Japheth, and you want to be Shem. Ah, wow. Curse be to Canaan, a servant of servants shall be unto you his brethren. And he said, watch this, blessed be to the Lord God of Shem. So Shem is blessed. And let Canaan be his servant. Oh, man. Man, I don't know about this Shem thing, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Man. And let Canaan be his servant, and God enlarged Japheth. Yeah, we know God enlarged Japheth. Yeah, he took North America. Definitely that. Enlarged him greatly. At this point, we got a wild God. God is wild. Now watch this. And let him dwell in tents of Shem, and let Canaan be his servant. See? So at this point, the grandkids of Ham will be slaves to Shem and Japheth's people. So I understand why you don't want to be African. I get it. It's right there in front of your face, but you gotta make a choice. We know based off of records where we was taken from. We might not know the tribes, but we know the areas. West Africa, Central Africa, some in East Africa. We know this. Most of the numbers are in West Africa and Central Africa, mainly West Africa. We know this. But the story is very interesting because we got an all-knowing God, and he don't got enough sense to know that Ham ain't even do nothing. He's not even mad at Noah. Remember, Noah the one drinking. Noah is drinking, drunk to death to the point where he take off his clothes, and God don't know that. And only thing Ham did was, man, looked at him drunk and walked and got his brothers. And for that, his grandkids will be slaves to Shem and Japheth. Boy, we got something going on right here, man. Goodness gracious, man. Wow. So I find this to be very interesting. I am amazed at the foolery. When all we got to do is read, and we could save a couple $1 million. Just read. Take your time, read it. Yeah, I know. So I find this whole story to be so interesting and wild. And they say, well, how can we be anti-Semitic? Let's look it up. Anti-Semitic. What do you mean when you say anti-Semitic? What are you saying? Talking about the racial prejudice. Anti-Semitism. Anti-Semitism, also spelled anti-Semitism or anti-Semitism, is hostility. Watch this. They wasn't, Kyrie wasn't hostile, right? 2, prejudice towards, was he prejudiced? Nah, he just tweeted out of the movie, right? Or discrimination against the Jews. A person who holds such positions is called anti-Semitic, anti-Semite. Anti-Semitism is considered to be a form of racism. Okay, now we're starting to get to it now, right? Form of racism, anti-Semitism may be manifested in many ways, ranging from expressions of hatred. Well, the movie absolutely expresses hate, right? It talks about how the Jews weren't, how the Holocaust wasn't particularly real. That's enough right there to get you in trouble. Anybody with any dictionaries or online access to a computer, internet service will know that Adolf Hitler's Germany actually captured, hunted down, and put the Jewish community in the damn ovens. How do I know? I was raised in the Jewish community, and the old ladies that was in the neighborhood and the older men, they had this writing on their shoulder, they had these numbers. So if you've ever been around Jewish people that made it through the Holocaust and are still living, right? They actually would have numbers tattooed on them. You know how in jail they give you your number on your clothes or whatever, your card? Nah, Hitler and them put the numbers on them. That shit was real. And so for anybody to promote that it wasn't real, man, you spreading hatred. So that's how you can be anti-Semitic. It's to spread some jargon that's promoting hatred. You want to add something to that, or you tapped out? Where you at?
No, I'm listening to you, but I'm doing family things too. I hear you. I mean, I really ain't got much to add, so keep on building.
All right.
I mean, I mean, the whole Semitic thing, I don't even want to, I mean, it's crazy. Because you just well with breaking down that biblical chronology that substantiates that. Who would be that? And so cats that went and placed themselves in a whole nother geographic region to fall under this deity.
Crazy, yo. Yeah. Yeah, actually, that's wild. And so, yeah, so if you promote movies, that's denying, like they actually got Holocaust deniers, and they'll call them anti-Semitic. Yeah, like that's hatred, man. Like you just acting like that didn't happen and that really happened. They don't just pay, Jeremy didn't pay them billions of dollars because they didn't do nothing. And to promote anything like this, that's like when wild people talk about our experience and say, ain't no slave ships. That's hatred towards you. You gotta hate a group of people, yo, that actually say the slave trade didn't happen. You ain't sitting there smiling at them. You actually hate what they represent and you're ignoring the experiences they went through. And so you say the slavery didn't happen. Ain't no slave ships, you this person. That's the same thing. I'm gonna say this again. You hear some more say it. Some quote unquote African Americans that act like the Native Americans. They say, oh, the slave trade didn't happen. You're not African. That didn't happen though. You was already here. So now they're gonna tell you where you was at, and they're gonna displace the people that was here with them. They double hating. It's crazy. These things are very documented. Nobody's playing with African Americans these days. Nobody's playing with a person that denies slavery. Nobody's playing that. You can be white and start talking that shit at the job, you're in trouble. Nobody's doing that. Regardless of where you think we at, that's not flying. Those simple things aren't flying. You're not going to act like the Holocaust didn't happen. You're not going to act like the slavery didn't happen. And if you speak on it, your ass is grass. Now, should there be a certain amount of empathy? Absolutely, I think so. The same empathy that was afforded to Nick Cannon and them. You got a chance to turn around from that. But, you know, Kyrie is feeling his pseudo-wisdoms real deep. So he just, he there. He in the middle of it. He going through it. His elders, Phil Valentine was probably his elders. Phil Valentine and them and Bobby Hibbert and them. Yeah, they probably talking to him. Gotta be. Hell. And the elders, what elders you got telling you that? Crazy, man. So yeah, that whole Hebrew movie is a bunch of malarkey. We clearly study archaeology, anthropology. We study genetics of population, so we know what areas certain gene pools can occupy. We understand ethnicity. We understand slave trade. We understand boats. We understand the Mediterranean. We understand they had plantation systems in the Mediterranean before North America. We know the Romans had slaves and moved slaves up and down, the Greeks and all that, on boats. We know all that. So you can't trick us with the boats and throw it up in 1600s like it's a bunch of malarkey. It's a bunch of people getting caught up that is not studied on what it is. I'm gonna drop that link, man. See if somebody can add to the discussion.
Yeah, it's a way to switch over from feeling like Christianity wasn't doing us right. So we need like a more rebellious way to still praise Jesus. Or if they want to do away with Jesus, to still stay in that, up under that Hebrew tradition, as the brother said. And so if we would realize that some of those stories wasn't for us, we wouldn't be trying to say we different characters in the story.
Oh, that's real talk right there, man. That's real. And Lord knows you want to be chosen by God. So you definitely, right? And you, so the African Americans, right? You do, I picked the pyramids if it was me. If I had a choice and I read the Bible, y'all go with the Egyptian, yo, they was serious, yo.
But what I'm saying is like I don't want to call it black spookism, but a lot of the stuff we learned as youth linger in our heads, yo, and cats be thinking that stuff is real. some of the stuff because Granny told us it, and you know, we don't want to lead that tradition. We start thinking that there's a problem with that. It takes some maturity to be able to get out of your theological tradition that ain't been doing nothing for your family. It takes some type of manhood to, or even womanhood to come up out of that and say, you know what, this ain't working. Or like how we cursed, like what that work, how that work. I wouldn't be under no tradition that tell no type of story like that.
Oh man, you ain't lying, man. You ain't lying. Boy, you ain't lying, you ain't lying. Curse, scared to death. Out of there. All right, we got our first panelist, man. What say you, James? What's on your mind, man?
Man, everything good, man. I mean, it's a damn shame. It's a frackernackle mess out there. But the fact is, the powers that be, they claim to be this Jewishness. So it's a complicated issue that we got to discuss, man. You on the right track tonight.
Mm. And so as long as we realize it's mythology, though, I can have any kind of conversation you want.
Well, you
it's not gonna make me acquiesce to a faulty premise, yo.
right.
It's mythology, yo. It is, and we know who created the mythology. So I'm not doing that. No.
Nah, no need to do that. We got to stay on the right track, man. You know, science is a good track, and for instance, Kyrie said he spoke about millennials in his little offering. He spoke about millennials and Gen Z and all of that. And in the same sentence, the brother said about Hebrew Israelites. So how you going to talk about the future generations, and at the same time you're talking about a tradition that's as old as anything that was written? Well, not as old as everything that's written down, but you know, it was written what was going on and create a myth, and it did that. And here we are in 2022 claiming to be that thing. Ain't that some shit?
And then Kyrie, he talked about we see children. You know, I know where he got Ngaba my children. I know where he got it from. Star children. I know where he got it from. Remember I told y'all when, you know, we make the statement that humans come from stardust, people literally mean that you came out the sun. I told y'all that. That's the point I was making. There you go. Kyrie proves it. Kyrie is going through his pseudoisms, you know, at the expense of his Nike contract, at the expense of a lot of bread that he potentially could use to change communities.
Yeah, but that being said, you know, we have to look at it from the standpoint of unity also. Now, I really don't care about his religion. If all of the NBA players would post the same thing Kyrie posted, would the league shut down?
I don't know, man. You ask a question that hasn't happened. So are you suggesting that we follow foolery?
No.
I'm all for that. I support him in wanting to find his history, but I do not support him in not taking 5 minutes out of his goddamn day and do what we just did. Like, I'm not going to support foolery. I support you in your struggle to find your history. I just support any Black man and any Black woman that want to find a story. And I don't think he should be just knocked out the framework like that for that. That's a lot. But you got to know what you're doing. You know, you got to know the ledge, though. And so, you know, there's always a way to walk back from all that. You could definitely walk back from all that and take his time. And he'll work that out. But you just, it's certain things you can't stay. And now it seems like he's sticking his feet down. So I don't know what kind of support I could give him. I'm a real Black atheist. I support a Black man. If Kyrie want to be a Hebrew, I support him in doing that. But I don't support him in trying to tell other people that they're not Hebrews. Now that's why can't he just be Hebrew? Why can't he just be that? Why not just read Torah, right? You know, go to temple have whatever you do, and change the world around you. Why you gotta talk about other people that clearly went through some shit? You know, why promote that type of material? Like, that's not even the real Hebrew. Matter of fact, that ain't even the real Hebrew. We know that.
That's the collateral damage.
Oh man, shit. Come on, man. We're not doing that.
That's collateral damage, man, because he's off the suspension list. You know, so the league is walking back right now.
That's good.
Yeah, it's good.
That's good. That's good. I mean,
I think it's good for the wrong reasons, though.
I don't know. I don't want to know about that. I don't know. I'm not gonna get into this conspiracy with you. All right, let me move on to somebody next, man. We got Pseudo Killer on here, man. Cedric, what's good, man? How you feeling, brother?
Peace, God Killer. I'm good. Peace, family. Peace to the chat. This subject came up. I was gonna leave it alone, but also in my community, it started to pop its head up. So, of course, I did the Pseudo Killer thing. I did the research, and I pulled an article from the asar.nl. It's called African Blacks and Mulattoes in the 17th Century Amsterdam Portuguese Jewish Converts. And I'm gonna read a little excerpt, a short little excerpt. African Blacks and Mulattoes in the 17th Century Amsterdam Portuguese Jewish Community, published 2nd of December 2019 by someone Demoto. I'm not going to read that difficult name. The analysis of the early 17th century minutes of the Portuguese Jewish community published in Amsterdam sheds light on their use of Black African slaves on Dutch soil. The 17th century Portuguese Jewish community in Amsterdam was comprised of members coming from Spain, Portugal, Italy, Turkey, Greece, France, Belgium, Morocco, and West Africa. Jose da Silva Horta and Peter Mark, 2011, found records of Sephardic communities along the west coast of Africa. The archival records reveal the reality of slavery. Portuguese conversos coerced Jewish converts into Catholicism had been slave trading since the 16th century between Lisbon, Sevilla, the Atlantic Islands, and West Africa. They even managed to control the asiento contracts permitting the sale of slaves in the Spanish colonies between 1518 and 1640. The most prominent slave traders were from the families Rodriguez, Jimenez, Mendez, Palos, Diaz, Cabrero, Jorge, Fernandez, Elva, and Cadrilla. The members of these families established an international network based on national religious ties and kinship. When the Naco Hebrews of the Portuguese nation members began arriving in the Netherlands, oftentimes they brought their African servants in quotation marks with them. Even though the practice of slavery was illegal in the Netherlands, Portuguese Jews called them servants. According to Hakala, Jewish law, a slave owned by a Jew had to undergo a ritual at the beginning and the end of his or her service. The ritual included circumcision for men and a ritual bath, men and women. This permitted Jews to have slaves for a period of 12 months, after which the slave became a full-fledged Jew. However, if the slave did not voluntarily embrace the Jewish faith, the owner was obliged to sell his or her slave to a non-Jew. One way to circumvent this was by giving the slave to another Jew as a gift before the expiration of the 12 months. Inquisitional archives in Torre de Tombo, Portugal, and the Canary Islands reveal the practice among the Sephardism. But what happened to those African Blacks in Amsterdam did not embrace the Jewish faith. And it continues, but I'm just going to read that a little bit there, and I'm going to leave it right there.
Okay. All right, man. We got what's this? More one. Hey, you got me out, bro. You got something to say? Got something to add to this conversation?
Yo, what's up? You can hear me?
Yeah, you loud and clear. How you doing, brother?
I'm all right. Yeah, I've come on the panel one time before. Once again, thank you for educating the people as always. I just wanted to. One big gripe I have with the whole Hebrew community, especially like the Black Hebrew Israelites, is like the level of contradiction be a little. It's like on an asinine level. I just like to know, because a lot of the time they say that they're God's chosen people, but at the same time they will say that God cursed Black people. So which one are we? Like, are we cursed or are we chosen? Like, and I know it's all mythology, and they obviously don't comprehend that it's mythology, but those simple contradictions are what our people don't even pick up on. So it's like, how do you break a psychosis like this when when it's almost generational at this point?
Education, scientific literacy. So we, like I always said, man, evolution and the origin of humanity is actually African history. And so there's chronology here, and you just start with the chronology. And we've been given such a closed view of things, like we're closed-minded, and we should study from Africa all the way to Europe, all the way to North America, and all points in between. And we need to have a healthy understanding of history, period. I study European history. I enjoy it. And most people would say, yo, you tripping. But once you study European history, then you start to understand a lot of things, how there's a different mindset at play. You study the Aztecs and the Mayans, the Esuid people, different diverse populations. You start to get a profound respect for Homo sapiens sapien that has migrated and mutated around the world, and how they come up with their creation stories. That's why, I always recommend books on how religion evolved, right? These works of art, I call them works of art, help paint the picture for you. And the guide and the parameters has to come through science and scientific literacy. Has to. Yeah, Federate States, what's going on with you? What say you, brother? Talk to us.
Hey, what's up, fam? Nothing much, just enjoying the show. I can't quote, I don't have the quote with me, but Carter G. Woodson. Carter G. Woodson. He made a book called, you are familiar with it, Miseducation of the Negro.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now he wrote that in 1930, I believe it was 1933. And you got in the book, and he was talking. Oh, it was a great quote. I can't forget it was, but what he was talking about during his time around 19, a lot of fashionists, a lot of our people were get into different culture. Like you had the more science, then you also had like in Detroit, you had the NOI was about to be started. You know what I'm saying? He wrote that in 1933, and in the book, he would just explain. He seen the future, like, yo, I could see how this new phenomenon of wanting to be from the Near East, how these guys going hate Africa. You know what I'm saying? He said these new organization gonna hate Africa. You know what I'm saying? He saw that. I mean, you know what I'm saying? And I know there's a video of Louis Farrakhan speaking about the Asiatic black man coming into East Asia, which he called Africa, in the jungle of Africa, and doing this and doing that. But it wasn't just him saying that. It was Malcolm X was saying the same thing. That was their doctrine. That was their doctrine. You know what I'm saying? And later on, I will quote the quote, but to a T. And it's so you know, and I don't know with the Kyrie issue. I know he heard of you guys. I know he heard of SETI. I know he heard you, God Killer. I know he heard. But why would he choose? Why would he choose to be, choose being a Jew or saying this narrative, and a lot of people saying, well, I'll be brief, right? And a lot of people were saying that, oh no, they're just saying because he like Zuriak and his group saying that the reason why they're after him is because he said he was a Jew. Nah, nigga. It had nothing to do with it, because when Mary Stoudemire was on First Take, he was introduced as a Jew by Mary, the woman said, Jew. He called him, they didn't say converted Jew, he called him a Jew. So Stoudemire.
Yeah, he do that. Yeah, he do the
Yeah,
convert.
so what I'm saying wasn't because of him saying he was a Jew or a Hebrew or whatever the case may be.
No, not at all.
Huh?
No, you're right. Absolutely, keep going. You're right. Go ahead.
Yeah. So basically, and like this, it was the movie, like how you were saying, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it had nothing to do with him claiming to be a Jew, because they introduced on First Take with Stephen A. Smith, they introduced Stoudemire as a Jew. I'm done.
That's a great point right there. Hold on for a minute, Cedric. That is the point, though. How come they not saying they Falasha Jews? See? No, they talking about the nonsense that African Americans have came up with. That's what we talking about here. Don't get faked out. Don't let them fake you out. No, that's not. We talking about the nonsense where you standing outside in front of the subway, how about read and got the damn 12 chart, the 12 tribe charts that they can't even be backed up by the. That's what we talking about here. See, we're not gonna play this game and fake and easy through the tulips, and I appreciate you, bro, for bringing that up. Stoudemire, man, he do the Jewish thing. I told you I grew up in a Jewish neighborhood. It ain't none of that nonsense you see out there in front of the subway. None of that. You know what I'm saying? None of that, bro.
In the article I just read, it actually admitted that there is a handful of Jewish converts, and of course mulattoes, because they inbred with their servant. So these converts or mulattoes that were bred into Judaism practice traditional Judaism. And you see the Superman, he has on the little hat, and so he practices traditional Judaism. The problem is with these quote unquote what has been classified as a racial terrorist group is the Black Hebrew Israelites, and these guys come into different communities, Black communities, and curse people out. They stand on the side of the road again with this 12 tribe chart that don't make no sense, and that's where we get the pushback. And of course, if you're gonna start talking about a film that is denying the Holocaust and all of this, you're doing too much.
You're doing too much. You're not gonna be able to get out of the way of that wave right there. It's gonna take the Nike contract, yo, because it's an easy read, yo. It ain't even a hard read. Like you running around like you in a cult with that one. I'm telling you, like they looking at you like, stop it. They're not saying you can't practice the faith. Nobody says that. That's not what's being said. What's said is that foolery that y'all talking about ain't got no burn nowhere, no weight, no burn, no nothing. It ain't in the Torah the way you do it. Stand outside, the whole 12 tribe chart, looking crazy, spewing hate and rhetoric. Now in the chat, a person said, well, let me read this. You know, I would consider it a statement of illiteracy. It says, let me read this. King Kofi, I gotta get you, King Kofi. You're in that chat there, spewing foolery. Gotta get you. Okay. It says, it don't matter if it's a myth or not. The youth is using it to come together, and y'all would stand in the way of that. It ain't about the documentary or Kyrie. Shaking my head, yo. Man, no. If a bunch of children and kids are rallying around hate, what are we doing? Now, if they was rallying around wanting to be Hebrews, okay, legit, the real thing, not the 12, no, I'm talking about learn how to read Torah and all, and yeah, that's something different. Then they got that choice. You can choose any religion you want. But to spew that we the original Hebrew foolery, it's crazy. We didn't write that myth. We was in Timbuktu somewhere. Mali, Central Africa, Demasi. We was all that. We was not doing, that's not what we was doing. They got where's the historical text that you find in West Side? Like, man, stop it. So no, we're not allowing our kids, we don't want our kids rallying around gun violence. You know, the dangerous business of hip hop, where you just shoot them up, bang, bang, when it ain't about hip hop. We're not gonna let our kids rally around that. Now, I'm not saying that trying to be a Black Hebrew as dangerous as, you know, the shoot them up, bang, bang thing that's going on right now. That's not my point. My point is it can become dangerous when a group of people start to rally around hate. Man, hate eats you apart, man. You can't push that agenda, man. Them people actually was where they say they was. I'm telling you, I seen it with my own eyes. I seen the day going, so you saying the lady wouldn't do, so they run around and put the tattoo number on them just to run around and put the tattoo number on them? So the Holocaust didn't happen? And I supposed to be happy that all of a sudden the youth is rallying around that? Man, that's the key point in the whole goddamn movie. That's a key point for me when you start denying something happened to some people that we all know with just you ain't got to do no damn research. You can Google that shit. Come on, man. Nah, we ain't.
Watch the movie.
Man,
They're gonna link it back to the Black Hebrew Israelites. They're gonna link it back to these different groups. They're gonna start looking at some of the tapes, and then they're gonna see the hate rhetoric that's being spewed, right? And then this is what's gonna lead to the big problem. We cannot have our youth rallying around misinformation, a dude that is preaching flat earth, conspiracy theories, anti-vax, and now this. I mean, how many strikes before we say, listen, let's get this guy in a room and sit him down? We need to reach out. He needs an intervention. The problem is the youth listen to him. We have created a culture where athletes and musicians have somehow become spokespersons. You see the Democratic Party in the United States doing that all the time, using rappers and artists to promote their message. And we've created a culture as if these people speak and it's fact. So all the work we've been doing, it only took one stupid interview with Ye and boom, we were off to the tracks. So like, what are we and how are we going to do what we got to do? How do we get this young man in our back chat? How do we get him in the Discord so we can have a conversation with him outside of the media? How do we get to him? That's what I need to know.
I don't know. We might not be able to get to him, man. What's going on, Stu Peace? What say you?
I don't want to, I'm going to say something controversial now. Cedric might agree with me, but you're going to disagree with me. ADOS represent Black people all over the diaspora. And what Kanye did not only affected, what Kanye and Kyrie is doing is not only affecting Black people, how we are perceived in the United States, but it's affecting Black people in the Caribbean, in Brazil, in England. Other people looking at us and saying, are we acting in one accord? Because it is unfair, but other races like to look on us as one people who think everybody think the same way. It's a wrong thing to say, but that's a perception they have of us, right? And that's why when I hear the others argument, I am mad. Because you guys, you Ankh, are on the forefront of the media. You are what everybody see. They're not seeing a little dude from St. Vincent on the TV. They're not seeing a little dude from Grenada on the TV. They're not seeing a little dude from Jamaica on the TV. They're seeing a superstar from America who is black like the little dude from St. Vincent, Grenada. So when he spews this stupid rhetoric, it affects everybody. And when people vex, you vex Ankh. When other people say, what kind of stupid American is this?
It seems to me that if anyone around the world thought that Black people were united in one accord, they'd be scared. But in the words of a famous scholar in the new Black knowledge community named Rabon, he said, they're going to make all of y'all apologize for slavery by Kwanzaa.
But I got to agree with Stupies on this one, because I was trying to sit it out until, of course, I have a rather, I'm one of those people in my community that have a voice. So when I start to see it pop up in the social media avenues of the younger folk in my community, I posted a video today talking about religion and the confusion and illustrating this stuff came to us in the 1500s via the Portuguese and Spain from the west. We have no direct connection to the Levant. I explained that we over here in these YouTube street having a discussion about the ethnicity of Egypt at this point in time, and we standing firmly on our square that West Africans are our own unique people. So how do we get to this confusion, right? I have to fight these things because this stuff catches like wildfire. Why? Because these little islands are a sponge for everything that happens in the United States. If you see when these guys, Migos, come to St. Martin, how they with a full bike crew and the hoods embrace these guys, and it's that is the amount of influence. These guys then believe and hang on the words of these people.
So, not H3Ps, I absolutely agree with you. I don't know why you thought I wouldn't agree with you on that. That's sound logic right there. You know, that affects everybody. That affects people of color. It absolutely does. And that's why, you know, I'm so glad we are actually ahead of the curve. And all our arguments and debates were actually ahead of the curve. And I'm glad, you know, we've got 24,000 in the building, right? Appreciate that. And we're actually ahead of the curve. And I would like to say that I'm glad to have this moment of clarity. We're clear over here. Clear of where we come from. Clear of understanding mythology. It's mythology. And we understand that human beings make up mythology. Human beings say today God chose them. We're clear with this. There's no in-between wishy-washy. So shout out to all the real Black atheists, Black atheists, those who aren't afraid, African Americans who are not afraid to say, I don't believe that shit. So now we see how believing can cost you money. Now we see how believing can knock you out of a position that we need more people, and we need that positioning, because that's how you end up owning industry. Get enough people with that cachet, with that bread, with that influence, and you can funnel and push people into arenas, into change. Don't nobody want to follow nobody broke. Everybody want to follow a hero. Everybody want to follow a winner. so we can get these people to get properly educated. It's right there for them. And I don't understand how in the hell you get out of college. Starting to make me think that they're right about the dumb jock. It shouldn't be that. I know it's not that. And that couldn't be further from the truth. But goodness gracious, at a certain point, goodness gracious. And so this whole thing of Hebrewisms has caught on fire. But we got the goddamn fire hoses. We always have had them. So we'll be critiquing the whole movie piece by piece. We're not letting off their head. You know, I gave the Hebrews a break. Now they think they're getting slick. Their back signal went up. Now it's time to get them. Got to get them. You was about to say something, Cedric. We at the moment of truth here, winding down. What say you?
Yeah, that is a valid point. We got to tear that piece of documentary, so-called documentary, apart piece by piece by piece. And yeah, we got to stand on our square. I made that comment. I said, look how belief is costing this man, young man, this amount of money. But I was going to interject about the dumb jock, Ankh. I saw you on Sanada with a man that we all respected, and he said he don't read.
Oh, who was that? Who said that?
The Super Bowl champion. He said he don't read, Ankh. Kyrie sounds illiterate. I listened to the man. And no, Ankh, he doesn't have no kind of education. I'm sorry.
Well, I don't know. He don't got no education.
Kyrie is Duke educated, correct?
Yeah, he do.
Now that's how powerful belief is, man.
Yeah, that's
in my
hold on. Wasn't Kyrie one and done?
Respond to Cedric.
Wasn't Kyrie one and done? Was Kyrie one and done? When you said Duke educated, did he graduate from Duke or did he do a year for the slave master? He did a year. He was one and done.
Okay,
well, in my scientific community, there is no room for this, of course, and I wish there was more scientifically literate communities, but no, there's no room for this. But in the public at large, we having an issue, man. This is a serious issue in belief.
You know, James, it's especially here in the islands. I am so disappointed. My two other older kids, they gone to private school and trust fund babies. And my younger daughter, well, I can't afford it no more. So she goes to a semi-private school, but it is Christian or religious based, which is the Catholic schools. And she doesn't hear about God, Jesus, or religion in her household. And when we talk about it, I always put it in the same light as the other cartoons. It's not real. It's just like the cartoon, this, that. The system of education, she is 5 years old. She's now for her second year in school. And the year has just begun. I am already battling Jesus on the cross and God up in the sky.
What you doing? Well, how you manage that? You done? How you manage that, yo?
Yeah, most of the schools. So the public schools are poor. I'm just gonna say it. It's poor quality schools, government funded.
You mean your daughter live with you?
Yeah, she lives with me in the house with me 24/7. She's with me most of the day. The system of education is so strong.
Well, I don't know.
That I'm battling Jesus on the cross and God in the sky. And she lives with a full-fledged atheist. I am public about it. I told them at the school, you know, I'm an atheist, right?
Oh, why you doing that? Oh, that was wow.
Hey, Cedric, I went to a Catholic school in Jamaica. The name of the school was St. Richard's Primary, 126 Readiness Road. You can look it up. And every Wednesday we had mass where the father came in and spoke in Latin for about 15 minutes and he spoke in English. And he went through all of that. And students who were Catholic went up and did communion. And they had communion classes for persons who want to become Catholic. And it was looked upon as like a good thing.
Yes, not
Catholic.
Stukis, the
my school,
Catholics in our
really.
community, which I am also one of, we are the people of prestige.
Right, and the church, the Catholic Church is a beautiful church. Can you look it up? 126 Reddings Road, St. Richard's. That's the name of the Catholic Church, but the school is St. Richard's Primary. Because the Catholics in Jamaica established a lot of schools. And on each of the church premises, they established a school.
Yeah.
And it really, they have some of the best primary schools, and then they have some of the best high schools, like St. George's College, Convent of Immaculate, Immaculate High School. They have Alpha, Convent of Mercy, Alpha, where the nuns run. They have some of the best schools in the island, a discipline, and that is like prestige. If you go to Immaculate in Jamaica, it's almost like guaranteed success. 90% of Immaculate students go on to university.
Yes, I do agree, right? And when in my community and we have, for example, a renowned surgeon who I worked with in the hospital. I mean, in ER, coming with blood transfusion and stuff like that, and watching this man work. Great doctor, but this man will sit you down and tell you about God.
Wow. But Ankh,
I tell people, to study medicine, you're not required to answer fundamental philosophical questions. So we have professional people who have a flawed base in reasoning and both up in themselves when they're outside of their subject matter, especially in the European system. I finish high school and I go straight into college to become a clinical laboratory scientist. And I specialize in biochemistry, right? But we don't go through the conventional college, eh? So it's no, yes, we get English and Dutch, and the rest of the subjects are all geared toward becoming an expert in that field. But we don't get no geography, we don't get no religious study, we don't do no social sciences, we don't do no Black history, we don't do no European history. After high school, you either go study history or you become a specialist in what you do. That excludes a lot of general knowledge. So in my community, for example, I can have a discussion with a lawyer about law. Step outside of that arena and it's shut down.
Ankh,
So,
the
what?
definition of Shem, when you drop that on there, I just want to know what makes you think that would, detract the Hebrew Israelite. Can we see that one more time? The information on Shem, where he's from. What is that? That's amazing, brother.
It's Asian, man.
If it ain't direct, if that ain't to the point, man, I don't know what is, brother. Oh man.
Yeah. So yeah,
that where you from?
Yeah, that's where they want to be from. Everywhere but Africa. We back to that again. Everywhere but Africa. Back to that again. I could see if he was playing Philistine Jews. You could do that. At least that's in Africa. Goodness. Anyway. So Cedric, I don't understand. My kids. Or high school, and I never pushed. I never pushed anything on them, so I would never go to school. Did this me and say I'm anything? I don't even want that kind of pressure on them. What I always knew that needed to happen is that they were like educated on the basic things, like where the hell the sun come from, oxygen, and I always kept a good healthy conversation going, like a good scientific, look it up. We had these computers, look it up, let's see it. And I gave them a healthy education on religion because, my kids, they start out homeschooled, and then the oldest was the homeschooled the longest. And then the other two came after that. And, everybody's like, we ain't doing that homeschool. We ain't doing that, Dad. Okay, bet. And so I let them all, when they got tired of it, I let everybody go to school. Everybody wanted to go to school. But I got them though, because that early mentoring. That 12K program in Georgia, it's a good one. It talks about Islam, Christianity, Judaism, African spirituality, and it just gives you the historical aspect of it. So it's not promoting Jesus, not promoting Muhammad, none of that. It's just telling you that it's part of people's culture and mythology. And so I never told my kids what to choose. I just made sure that their foundation was scientific literacy. Now my 17-year-old, she'll tell you, Dad, I'm not an atheist, right? But I don't believe none of that. I don't call myself that, right? She refused to hear that. Noise. Who was that? No, Cedric. That's Cedric. I'm tripping about the
That's not me. That's not me.
Okay. So what I'm saying is, you got to let your babies choose. I didn't give them, we black power, hard running around. They hear me screaming. So I did none of that. So I say to the listening audience, the best gift you can give your children is scientific literacy, and then allow them to see the world through the lenses of science. So even if they happen to choose a God, and they do know you're choosing a God, right? Then they'll at least look through the lenses of science, right? They won't depend on that God to do the things that humanity has already figured out, man. Look, Pan-African James, you the last one. I know you got something to say. I want to get you in.
Can I just add on to what you're saying? You're absolutely right. See, now I'm just dealing with the baby. The rest of them, we go through that process. So most of my kids, they don't even. That's not even a discussion whether gods exist or not, but because they are of older age. So we go through that process and scientific literacy. So we get in the books, we open the Wikipedia, we go through that whole process of understanding things. See, one of the things I had a challenge with my son for years, he would say, the lion is the king of the jungle. And I would tell him, you show about that. I think the elephant. And I would give him my arguments, and he would go and find arguments, and we would battle back and forth for years until he came to the point and say, you know what, Dad, I think you're right. The elephant is the king of the jungle. So it's only, what I was illustrating is the fact that it's so ingrained in our society that if you're not on this side of the fence, it is much easier to end up over there. And when you're Kyrie's age,
but the lion don't live in the
it's a
jungle.
hard
That's
process to get it out.
The problem is that the lion never live in the jungle. Lions don't live in the jungle.
They live on the savannah. They never live in the jungle, right? Tigers live in the jungle. Hey, Pan-African, what's up? Yeah, they got us in the jungle.
Peace, everybody.
Yeah, y'all hear me? What's going on, man? We're gonna close it out.
Oh, man, I just wanted to try to see if we could come to some type of a solution-based situation, or do y'all lose out hope that it's any type of hope for us to come up with a solution? And I based that on how we got into this situation where they congregated and came up with a consensus of what their history was going to be. I don't think that we've gotten to the point as a collective to have a consensus on what we're going to use our chronology as a collective. I think that that's something that we need to do and push our stuff that way. No one's ever came with like a Council of Nicaea and recorrected the misinformation that they had. I think that we have to do this as the collective, not as the individual. And I want to see what y'all thought about it. I'll listen in.
That's a good idea, man. A summit.
A summit to decide that we're not Hebrews?
Hell no.
No. A summit to decide. The summit is to decide the chronology that we want to follow as a people. You know what I'm saying? Because we're historically confused.
What chronology you mean? By chronology, what you mean? Religion? What do you mean by chronology?
I'm not talking about religious chronology. I'm talking about historical chronology. Now, within that history, you do have to make people aware of the religious indoctrination that come along with that. But I think the chronology would be our best way to unify, to try to get ourselves together. We already have a consensus of what it is, but most of our people don't know what the consensus that we had come to. So the schools of thought like a Diop or Dr. Clark or whatever, or the brightest minds that we have on history, we should accumulate that information and try to curate it for our people, right? So that's what my suggestion would be. And I was just wondering what if anybody else had any type of real solution, a simplified solution to what our problem is. All right,
Yeah, Dr. Clark said to kick their ass. We got to punch them in the nose. We got to stop this. Stop this apologizing.
hold on, James. You can't do that if you're not unified, right? How can you fight somebody if you're Hebrew, Moor, Christian, non-denominational, or whatever? You have to be unified up under something. And see, that's what I think a lot of us make a mistake and say that we don't need unity. Like Brother Reggie, he doesn't think that we need to go back to the nucleus of a spiritual source. I know a lot of people don't think that, but that was the economic coffers that we were using to support our own civilization. Once they closed down those temples, that closed down your economics, right?
So we actually not.
One step at a time. Unity is first, man. No doubt.
Hold on for a minute. I mean,
And
maybe.
Second. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, well, maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm confused, but I seen us unified, all standing up, out in the streets. I remember I was there during the pandemic. Now, this was one of the most dangerous times to be outside in the middle of a damn pandemic. I was there. I got the pictures and the videos to prove it with my kids. They wanted to go out there. I was like, that's crazy. It's madness. And they weren't even a vaccine yet. And we was out there. And we was out there and we was all unified. We had a mission. And nobody was asking what your damn religion was you this, was you that. It never was that. So we're not stupid. We're not none of that. We don't have to unify under the banner of a temple system, under a particular religion, Mr. James. I don't think we would have to do that. We just need to figure out our politics and what politics should we go to make our lives better. We need to figure things like that out. Create voting blocks. This is essential. Read. It's a good book out there, and I can't think of the name of the book now. And I talk about this a little bit. It's talking about how the LBG community repackaged their whole thing. You know what I'm saying? How they made it more family oriented and how they just made it more palatable. So we need to repackage our thing. The Jewish community is an excellent example to figure out how they got what they got, how, what unity looks like, right? So they unify under a religion, right? But even them unifying under religion, I know I lived in a community of Orthodox Jews. You see, most of y'all never seen that. Orthodox Jews, when that sun go down on Sunday, on Friday, they ain't touching nothing. If the baby touched the radio and turned on by mistake, they used to have to pay me to go turn that radio off, right? They not eating milk, drinking milk, not drinking cheese. And on Saturday, you'll see them walk to the synagogue, right? And when they're in that synagogue, they reading that Torah, they're not touching that Torah. They use the pen nib, okay? And it's in Hebrew. Serious about that thing, right? They have to wear hair coverings. Okay, the yarmulkes. Most of them know what the damn yarmulke is, right? The hats. That's why you see the basketball player, he's wearing that hat. They do all of that, right?
And the women wear wigs.
Right, no, anyway, yeah. Well, and then
they wear wigs and hair covering.
Come on, Stu Peas. And then there's other sects of the Jewish community that do it totally different. Okay, that don't do all of that, but they still do that. But they have a sense of community, and I think this is the point. So do religion bring a sense of community? Well, hell, we got a lot of damn religion, right? We got a lot of churches, and there's a church on every goddamn block damn near in the Black community. So we got all that. So what are we missing? We're missing how to galvanize ourselves around our issues. Martin Luther King did it. He galvanized us.
Wait. You said we missing cultural continuity is what you're saying.
Yeah, meaning you can have all different types, whatever you want, that's fine. But there has to be a playbook. There has to be some do's and don'ts. There has to be a way of seeing things. We got to be on the same damn page. Well, we don't got to be unified. We got to be on the same page. Like, we need to vote, and it's the time for us to vote. Now, what are the issues that are valuable to our community, and we vote on them. And we pick out candidates that are going to fit our issues. We don't care if they white. If you're a black candidate, right, and you're not for our issues, then why would you vote for him? If he was a black president, right, and representing the black president, but you didn't have our issues, right? If we didn't sit down and figure out what you exactly was going to do, then why would we vote for you? If it was a white candidate to say, I'm going to do this and this for the black community, then you would give your vote to that. Sounds harsh, right? But it's how all communities move. Anyway,
Correct.
that's my point
Yeah.
right there.
Just a quick question to the panel. I feel like as a people we don't have like systems of check, right? And I think that's one thing we could also learn from the Jewish community in the sense of like, you see how they have an ADL.
Yeah, they got to check and balances. Yeah.
We need a black version of that where we don't allow people to just talk all willy-nilly, all crazy about black people and then just get away with it without no fact checking or no repercussions. And I think that's the reason why even our own don't respect our own information. That's why you can have like a Kyrie, or even like a Kanye saying that slavery was a choice. You feel me? After he said that, we actually went back and supported him triple times. You know what I mean? So like the Jewish community, if somebody in their own community steps out of line, they get checked. You know what I mean? In our community, it's like somebody steps out of line and then they get rewarded. So
You raise an interesting point. We have the Urban League, but I don't think that's their mission. And let me give you, for instance, Corey Holcomb put me up on game today. He put out something where he points out the fact that, yeah, Kyrie was the one who didn't take the vaccine. He lost a lot of money, but the New York City mayor deemed that everyone gets back pay who didn't take the vaccine. They had a lot of money to pay. The Nets had a lot of money to pay Kyrie, and then suddenly he's a bad guy. So we got to watch out what's going on because there are other factors that's affecting the game. So we got to keep up on it.
Oh, well, I want to end out. I'm not going to end out on that crazy ass shit right there. He has a lawyer. Go get your damn money, Kyrie. Hey, I appreciate everybody, tuning in, man. You could be anywhere else, but tuning in to the Real Black Atheist, man. Like and subscribe to the channel, man. Subscribe to the Pseudo Killers, man. Let's get these likes up, man. All right, go subscribe to the I'm a Raw Squad Media. We're going to have some good lecturers starting to come through. Look out for that March or April lecture we're doing. I think we're going about $30. I hope y'all want to support. Appreciate that. It's going to be real good. Going to be some content that you can't just get here. All right, go to the Abjuware store. That's abdju.com. Right, get your hoodies. It's getting chilly out there in your neighborhoods, man. We practice scientific literacy around here, man, and it's Brother Ken always recommends good books. So I'm on this one, Starry Messenger right now, right? And Cosmic Perspectives on Civilization. And y'all just know he talks about the Egyptians in here, right? He talks about race. He talks about a lot of things, and the conversation is high level. Chapter 1. First of all, Overture, Science and Society. Chapter 1, Truth and Beauty. Life in the Cosmos. Chapter 2, Exploration and Discovery. The value of both when shaping civilizations. Chapter 3, Earth and the Moon, Cosmic Perspectives. Chapter 4, Conflict Resolution. Tribal Forces Within Us All. Chapter 5, Risk and Reward. Calculations we make daily with our own lives and the lives of others. Man, when you're driving down the street on that cell phone, that's a calculation. Chapter 6.
Peace to the panel and peace.
All right, brother.
Thank you.
Mediterraneans and vegetarians. We are not entirely what we eat. Chapter 7, Gender and Ethnicity. People are more the same than different. Chapter 8, Color and Race. Once again, People are more the same than different. Some good chapters right there. All right, read the chapter 8, read chapter 7, chapter 9, Law and Order, Foundation of Civilization, whether we like it or not. Chapter 10, Body and Mind. Human psychology may be overrated. Life and Death, then it's credits and acknowledgments. Man, get that on your Kindle, right? And listen on Audible, man. So I'm gonna start that Audible book club where we listen to a book. Can we discuss it? I think that's the easy way to do stuff, right? Yeah, you know how we doing around here, yo. We always got something slick to do around here, man. Always got something slick to do. Let me see who in the chat, man. All those brave supporters who's not afraid, man. Immortal Truth, man. I see you. Purple Glitter. I see you. Black Lion Supreme. I see you. Kevin Henry. I see you. Black Sheep 013. I see you. CK the Poet, designator, creator of the Pseudo Killer server. I see you. 504 top level. Top level, guess what, man? I see you. Pure Black. Well, you know I see you. What else we got? What else we got? King Kofi. I see you. I definitely see you. Gary Hart. I see you. Eric Christopher. I see you. What's this? Nene Stone. I see you. Mongo Slade. Boy, I see you. Hey, look, man. 721 Auto Sales. Man, you know I see you. Anthony Bowman. Man, I see you. Hey, with that, man, we out, man. Tune in tomorrow. Probably have an album on the Pseudo Killers, man. Make sure y'all subscribe, man. Tell your friends, man. We do it a little bit different over here on the Real Black Atheist, man. We're gonna make sure you hear what we saying over here. We're gonna do it like that, man. Look, and with that, everybody, man.
Unc, hold on before you go. Why we don't put the movie on the Discord in a room, the same documentary, and that everybody could watch it at the same time, and then pause and critique and ask questions, because you can't put it on YouTube because you get flagged. But like in the Discord, I invite people to the Discord. They can come and watch it.
All right, we're gonna do that. Make sure you buy it. I ain't planning on buying that garbage. You buy.
All right, Uncle, I'll let you.
Didn't you say it was